You know that feeling when you realize you've made a terrible mistake, but it's already too late to turn back? I had that feeling the moment I touched the red door in my new apartment. I'd moved into the old Victorian building on Maple Street 3 days ago. The rent was suspiciously cheap, but I chalked it up to the building's age and the landlord's desperation. My studio was on the 3rd floor, cozy enough, with creaking floorboards and windows that rattled when the wind blew. But there was something else. Something I noticed on my first night. At the end of the hallway, past the last apartment, there was a door. A crimson-red door that didn't match any other door in the building. It had no number, no nameplate, just smooth red paint that seemed to absorb the light around it. On my 3rd night, I couldn't sleep. The apartment was too quiet, the kind of silence that presses against your eardrums. Around 2 a.m. I heard it. A soft scratching sound like fingernails on wood coming from the hallway. I pressed my ear against my door and listened. The scratching grew louder, more frantic, and then stopped abruptly. Against every instinct screaming at me to stay inside, I opened my door. The hallway was empty. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting stuttering shadows on the faded wallpaper. And that red door at the end of the hall, it was slightly ajar. I could see darkness beyond it, thick and absolute, as if the doorway opened into nothing at all. I should have gone back inside. I should have called the landlord. Instead, I walked toward it, each step echoing in the silent hallway. As I got closer, I smelled something metallic and sweet, like old pennies mixed with rotting flowers. My hand reached out trembling and pushed the door open wider. The scratching started again, but now it was behind me. I spun around and saw them. Dozens of handprints appearing on the walls, the floor, the ceiling. Small handprints like children's hands, materializing in something dark and wet. They were everywhere, crawling toward me, leaving trails of crimson that dripped upward, defying gravity. I stumbled backward through the red door, and it slammed shut behind me. The darkness swallowed me whole. I couldn't see my own hands in front of my face, but I could hear breathing, not my own. Dozens of small, wheezing breaths surrounding me in the dark. Then a child's voice whispered in my ear, "We've been waiting for you to come home." A cold, tiny hand grabbed mine in the darkness. The child's hand was impossibly cold, like holding a piece of meat pulled straight from a freezer. In the absolute darkness beyond the red door, I tried to wrench my hand free, but the grip tightened with inhuman strength. "Don't leave," the voice pleaded. "We get so lonely." More hands grabbed at me. My ankles, my arms, my clothes. Small fingers, dozens of them, pulling me deeper into the void. I screamed and thrashed, finally breaking free long enough to stumble forward. My hands found a wall, then another door handle. I twisted it desperately and fell through, landing hard on wooden floorboards. I was back in the hallway. But something was wrong. The walls were different. The wallpaper was newer, unfaded. The lights were warm and steady, not flickering fluorescents, but old gas lamps. And I could hear something else now. Laughter. Children's laughter, echoing from behind every door in the hallway. I ran to my apartment, but when I threw open the door, it wasn't my studio. It was a nursery. 5 small beds lined the walls, each with a child-sized lump beneath dirty, moth-eaten blankets. The air was thick with that same sickly sweet smell. "You found our room," a voice said behind me. I turned to see a woman in an old-fashioned dress, her face pale and expressionless. "I was the caretaker here. 1952, there was a fire. I locked them in to keep them safe while I got help." Her eyes were hollow, dark pits in her skull. "But I never came back. I died in the flames downstairs, and they waited and waited." The lumps in the beds began to move. "Now they need a new caretaker," she continued. "Someone to stay with them. Someone to make sure they're never alone again." The blankets fell away, revealing charred, twisted forms that had once been children. Their eyes glowed like embers in their blackened faces as they sat up, reaching toward me. I bolted from the room back into the hallway, but every door I passed burst open. More of them emerged, crawling and limping toward me with outstretched arms. The red door at the end of the hall stood open, darkness beckoning. I had no choice. I ran toward my only escape and dove through. I woke up in my apartment, sunlight streaming through the windows. A dream. It had to be a dream. But when I looked at my hand, there were small, sooty fingerprints burned into my skin. And every night at 2 a.m. I hear the scratching. They're patient. They know I'll open that red door again eventually. Because I still live here. I can't afford to move. Thanks for watching Whisper of Dark. If this story sent chills down your spine, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We explore the darkest mysteries, unsolved crimes, and terrifying tales every week.